In today's discussion, we're going to be looking at Pitfall, one of the most famous Atari games from back in the day. Now, obviously, this is most famous on the Atari 2600, but the version I'll be looking at specifically today is the Atari 800 version. One of the most impressive and exciting games that was big during the reign of Atari was the original Pitfall. It's also arguably a game that is the granddaddy of the action-adventure genre that has seen huge success over the years, which eventually came to games like Lara Croft in Tomb Raider and Prince of Persia and the Uncharted series, and so many games that we still get. You can trace back the influence to the original Pitfall. In the game, you play as Pitfall Harry. Yes, you know, that'd be like saying you play as Tomb Raider Lara Croft, but they literally did call that game Lara Croft Tomb Raider, so Pitfall Harry it is. Your goal is to cross screen after screen of platforming action and to collect treasure whilst avoiding various pitfalls, hence the title. Now, the pitfalls in question include literal pits that you can fall into, as well as other things such as snakes, fires, weird Acme-like opening black holes that can just swallow you up. It's weird. I'm not sure what these are because they open and close again, but I don't know what they are. There are also then pools of water that can also open up and close up. Just something in the world of Pitfall Harry where hazards just contract and detract. I don't know what the opposite to contract is. But anyway, sometimes there are pools of water that have 3 crocodiles or alligators sat in them. The biggest obstacle you'll have to dodge in the game are rolling logs, because there are an awful lot of these rolling logs. Now, these are a little bit of a pain, but for me, the crocodigators are the toughest thing you'll have to get past. Once you've played for a while, you'll be able to hop across them quite easily, but even after a while, you'll still have to be careful to time your jumps just to make sure that you land on the back of their heads and not straight into their open mouths and become a Pitfall Harry snack to them. Long before the era of Donkey Kong Country had you swinging on vines, Pitfall Harry was swinging across pits, and every time you do this, there is a weird sound that plays. Now, I wasn't sure if this was meant to be momentary music or if it was meant to be a Tarzan-like call. I don't think I'll attempt to hear, you know, the famous I'm not very good at it, but I've convinced myself that it is meant to be this Tarzan-like call, because I guess back in the day when this was made, Tarzan was more of a popular brand with dozens of different TV and movie adaptations out there. The game was something of a revolution of sorts when it first launched, as there really wasn't anything else like it. It was ambitious and it was a super influential game. It's just a shame that although it's had a few sequels, even in more recent years, it's never really remained a huge franchise. Look, this is an Activision game, and the fact that they're still not pumping these things out just goes to show that it kind of had its time. It's an example of something that was a pioneer, but then as time went on, it has ended up being influenced by the game that were originally influenced by it. Without Pitfall, there may have never been the Prince of Persia or Tomb Raider, but more recent games in the series have arguably been more influenced by the likes of those than by itself. The game gives you 2 numbers to keep track of. Firstly, the game gives you 20 minutes to explore over 200 screens. There's about 250 in fact, and you're in search of around 32 pieces of treasure. And if you find them all, you will trigger a kill screen because you've beaten the game. There's nothing else for you to do on it. The other number to watch is essentially your score, but it's also something of a tracker of your health. Now, this is a number that will increase every time you pick up treasure, but will decrease anytime you get injured. So whilst it's not specifically your health, the more damage you take, the lower your score is. There are also underground sections that you can go through, and these are useful as shortcuts to avoid certain pitfalls above, but sometimes can be dangerous themselves with scorpions or something down there, and you'll often find that there are dead ends, and sometimes you'll have to do a little bit of backtracking, maybe 2, 3 or more screens, just to go back up and then attempt to go over the pits. This is really annoying if you do meet a dead end and have to backtrack a long way, so when I play it, I usually just stick to the higher ground. For many, Pitfall and its sequel are the best games to get on the early Atari platforms, and they are very good. I don't know if they're specifically my favourite games, but they're definitely up there. For me though, it's been great to rediscover this on the brand new Atari 400 Mini that I've got, and it's great that even though that Retro Games didn't include it as one of the built-in games on the system, they have made it super easy to add your own collection of games onto the system with a USB stick. Now, this of course has been the Atari 800 version that I've been playing, and of course the most famous of all of the versions of Pitfall is the Atari 2600, or the original Atari VCS version. It's just a shame that when the Atari 2600 Plus launched a few months ago, that certain games which included Pitfall 2 weren't initially compatible, but I guess may become compatible with an official or community update along the way. I say this because I've enjoyed getting back into the world of Pitfall, Harry, and am definitely going to do a follow-up video looking at Pitfall 2. And now that I don't have to worry about my cartridge working on the 2600 Plus, I know I'm going to be getting into it on the Atari 400 Mini. So that is going to wrap things up for this video. If you haven't done so already, I would truly appreciate if you would smash that subscribe button here on the Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channel, and you can also check out the written article version of this discussion from today over on the website www.xstreamed.tv/gaming. And with that, until next time, stay safe, always stay extremed, and ciao for now. Boom, and we're off the air.